There is currently no direct sunlight on the fells around me. So with the moody conditions and the brooding skies, which at this moment in time look like there's going to be lots of rain ahead, we are looking at some mono photography for this session. I'm in the northwestern region of the Lake District, and I'm just heading up a fairly small fell called Outer Side, which lies between Causey Pike and Grisdale Pike. It's basically in the middle of a valley and some nice shapely fells around me. But as I said before, there's lots of mood in the skies around me. It looks like I'm going to get blasted by a torrential downpour any minute. The key to good black and white photography is to ensure that you've got contrast in your image, so emphasizing the blacks and the whites without clipping. I'm going to set up a shot now using my long lens telephoto 70-200. I'm basically zooming in on the shapes behind me using the meandering path, which in itself is going to have a nice leading line and show some good contrast. Now, as I said before, there's no direct light, so I'm going to have to use my adjustment brush in post-processing, so I'm thinking ahead. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this session. I've got a feeling I'm going to get blasted by a downpour any minute now, so fingers crossed I'm not. Do you know what? I think Lady Luck is on my side. The rain has decided not to follow me. Still time yet though. So I've reached my second peak of the day, which is Outer Side. Now if you follow my channel, you know that I have a goal of walking or bagging all the 214 Wainwrights, which are basically fells spread out throughout the Lake District, which have been named after the author and illustrator Alfred Wainwright, which basically published a book which is divided into different regions of the Lake District back in the 60s, I believe, and since then fell walkers have used that as a guide. So 132 out of what, 214, a fair bit to go. Regards to the photography, there is still some mood in the sky, thankfully, plenty of detail, nothing standing out as yet, but on my way up here I have found some potential because the cotton grass is out, and that always makes a decent feature, especially in black and white, of course. Remember, it's all about the contrast. I have found some cotton grass, nice little patch here, which leads you up to Grisdale Pike in the background. It's quite a prominent shape. Now I've focused on Grisdale Pike as well. The cotton grass is within about a foot. I could focus that, but there's a light breeze, so it wouldn't really work. I've pumped up the aperture as much as possible, f16. I've ensure there's enough space around the cotton grass just to breathe, so it's a good frame. Now, regards to black and white photography, there's two ways you can go about it. You can go out with the intention to shoot black and white, or it can be an afterthought. Regards to the latter, let's be honest, it's probably a afterthought for the majority of it. But with you go out with the intention of shooting black and white, it's always a good idea to change your picture profile on your camera to monochrome. That way you get a good idea of what looks good and what doesn't work. So shot here, cotton grass foreground, grizzled pike in the background. I've opted to use a different aspect ratio from my usual crop of a 2:3. In this case and the remaining images I've opted for a 3:4. Just seems to be more pleasing to the eye. Also, there was a lot of dead space between the top of the cotton grass leading up to the background grizzled pike in this case. So all I did is I used a local adjustment brush to increase the exposure slightly, just bringing out the textures in the foliage. You know when you just stumble on a place and you think, there's got to be something here, there's got to be. So typical me, I've taken that long to fine tune a composition that the light is now gone and hidden behind a big veil of cloud. Doesn't concern me that much though, because I can get to work in post-processing using the local adjustment brushes, radial filter. I have found a composition and I'm using the curvature, so again good shapes, curvature of the tufts of grass which lead the eye up to the background, which in this case is Causey Pike. Check the back of the LCD monitor and I think it worked. So I'm set up for the final image of the day, and this is all about the wonderful light which is being cast on the background, and that's what I've focused on, the background. But I'm using a path, there's a leading line which takes you up to the focal point. Before I show you the image, I'm going to show you some candidates for my viewers' calendar for April. So we're in May now, where's the year gone? So again, as before, just choose your favourite image from this selection, and I'll also show you January, February and March just to show you where we are for the time being. So that is it for another episode. Hope you've picked up some tips regards to black and white photography. It is a passion of mine. If you look through my portfolio on my website, you'll see quite a few images in black and white. There's a certain timelessness about it. Anyway, I'll leave you for now. So keep smiling. Till next time. Bye bye for now.